Hi guys, have you ever been into the workshop and thought, well, I wonder what that tool is all about? I mean, I've seen it there in the cupboard, but what is it used for? Well, today's video is about getting you aware of a good range of wood working equipment. And I want to particularly start off today with marking out tools. Gosh, you might be saying, why on earth, Simon, are you showing us a pencil? Perhaps you know everything about a pencil, but just let me check that. You know, at the end of the pencil, you'll see a system of letters, which is HB, it means just the average size. If you go further like this, 3H, 4H, whatever, then it becomes harder. And if you go this way, where you get like a 2B, 3B, etc., then it becomes softer. Now, with carpenters, we aim for the middle, like a HHB or a B. If you go too hard, it won't show up. If you go too soft, your line becomes too thick and therefore less accurate. You can actually get a carpenter's pencil, which is this shape. It's flat on two sides with the lead in the middle. And they say that that stops it from rolling off your table. But also, if you put it on its point like this, you can get a nice thin line for marking out accurate joints. Or you can get a much thicker line when you want to mark out on rough sawn wood. It will stand out more clearly. And you get the thicker line by just rotating the pencil 90 degrees. Now, an alternative to a pencil is a marking knife. Now, the advantage with a marking knife is that it actually cuts the grain of the wood with this edge here. And that allows you to place in other sharp objects like a chisel to line them up accurately. And also by cutting the wood fibres, you're more likely to stop splintering when you're cutting. Oh yeah, steel rule. Now you're probably saying, come on Simon, we know all about rulers, why are you telling us this? Well, I just want to point out that a steel rule is a very accurate marking device. It starts here at 0, right on the end, which is not usual for other rulers like a wooden one. All the measurements are in millimeters, which gives us the accuracy that we need in design and technology. It's even got a little hole here for hanging up. And with it being made out of steel, it's less likely to wear out. Now this next one is a tri-square. And I hope you're one of these people who uses this on a regular basis, because a lot of people don't. Its sole job is to get a 90-degree angle from the edge of your piece of wood. So if we're marking this out to cut to length, then we've got a nice straight line to guide us. If you use a ruler, you're only guessing that you're getting a 90-degree angle. And you can use a tri-square to mark all the way around your wood to get it even more accurate. Now, have you seen this funny looking tri-square? Well, we call it a mitre square. And its job is to mark out 45-degree angles when you are trying to mark out a mitre joint. So if we square this up on the end of our wood and then we mark a line along the mitre square, then we're going to get a nice 45-degree line like so. So what happens when you don't want a standard angle? Well, then we can use a sliding bevel. And this has a wing nut in the middle there. Can you see it here? And if we loosen off that wing nut, then this metal part here, the blade, can move up and down. So it can move along like this, but even better, you can actually rotate it. And when you've got it into the angle that you want, then you can slide it up on your work and mark it there. Very useful if you've got to mark that angle out a number of times. Let's just move that sliding bevel back into place. There we go. Now this next tool is called a marking gauge, G-A-U-G-E. All its parts begin with S. So that is a stem. This is a stock. This is a screw which will lock the stock into place when we've got the gap that we want between the scriber and the stock. So the idea is that we measure a distance between the point and the stock like so. And this will enable us to measure this distance X parallel to the side of the wood like so, in a nice straight parallel line. So we get a parallel, two L's, one at the end, parallel line to the edge of the wood. And that's good for joint making and also just getting the width of the wood that you require correct. No, I'm not showing you another marking gauge. This is called a mortise gauge. Okay, can you spot the difference? Can you see here that it's got 2 points this time, here and here, 2 scribers, and a separate screw down here, which locks these scribers in place. This bottom one here can be moved up and down, and the gap between the 2 points can be adjusted, and also the gap between the point and the stock can be adjusted. Now this is particularly for making the mortise and tenon joint. So this is the tenon and this is the mortise, the hole that it fits in. And I covered this in my joint video, but we use the mortise gauge to mark this distance out here of the tenon, and also the distance to the hole and the width of the hole by using this mortise gauge. So it would look something like that when you're using it. So that's a really great set of marking out tools to have. And now you know what to ask for Christmas, don't you?